Management is the process of creating an atmosphere wherein individuals working together in groups accomplish a given objective with the highest degree of productivity. Management is the process through which people are mobilized to achieve designated goals. The aim of all managers is one and the same, that is, to be productive. Productivity is the measure of how well the input resources are utilized in achieving the organizational objectives. In fact, it is defined as the ratio of outputs to inputs. Outputs are many in the form of, say, products, services, profits, etc. Similarly, inputs are many in the form of human capital, managerial, etc. Productivity can be improved by increasing the outputs with the same inputs, decreasing the inputs by maintaining the same outputs, or increasing the outputs and decreasing the inputs to change the ratio favorably. Productivity implies both effectiveness as well as efficiency. Effectiveness is the achievement of objectives, whereas efficiency is the achievement of ends with the least amount of resources. Production and productivity are different terms and implies different meaning. It should be noted that higher production need not necessarily lead to high productivity and vice versa. Production is a process of converting input into some useful value-added output. Production is a measure of output produced. The emphasis is not on how well the input resources are utilized. Productivity, on the other hand, puts emphasis on the ratio of output produced to the input used. That is, here the focus is on how well the input resources is used for conversion into output.
Productivity equals outputs divided by inputs. Companies use several kinds of inputs such as labor, materials, and capital. Accordingly, productivity can be classified as labor productivity, material productivity, etc. Total factor productivity combines various inputs to arrive at a composite input.
Management is both an art as well as science. Science is nothing but an organized set of knowledge based on theories and principles. On the other hand, art is know-how, or rather doing things in the light of the reality of a given situation. Management is science because of several reasons, like it has universally accepted principles, it has cause and effect relationship, etc. And at the same time, it is art because it requires perfection through practice, practical knowledge, creativity, personal skills, etc. Management by practice is an art, and the organized knowledge underlying this practice is science.
Mintzberg, in 1973, labeled managerial work as consisting of 10 roles, categorized into three groups, namely interpersonal roles, including the figurehead, leader, and liaison roles, informational roles, including the monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson roles, and decisional roles, including the entrepreneur, disturbance handler, negotiator, and resource allocator roles. The figurehead role is related with performing ceremonial and social duties as the organization's representative. Through the leading role, the manager motivates and develops staff and fosters a positive work environment. The liaison role is concerned with communicating and creating network, particularly with outsiders. The monitor or recipient role is concerned with receiving information about the operation of an enterprise. The disseminator role is concerned with passing information to subordinates. The spokesperson role is concerned with transmitting information to those outside the organization. Through the entrepreneurial role, a manager creates and controls change within the organization and involves generating new ideas and implementing them. In his managerial role as disturbance handler, the manager will respond to unexpected events and operational breakdowns. The negotiator role is concerned with dealing with various persons and groups of persons. The resource allocator role is concerned with determining where organizational resources are best applied. This involves allocating funds as well as assigning staff and other organizational resources. The managerial functions can be basically grouped under planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. Plans are necessary to give the organization its goals and direction, and to establish the best procedure for reaching them. While the top level managers engage in long range planning, the middle and lower level managers focus on short range and day to day plans. The elements included in planning function are the policies that will help to achieve objectives, the programs that a manager will carry out, the procedures that a manager will utilize, the time schedules that a manager will have to meet, and the budgetary considerations that will be involved. All these elements intermesh and must be considered and planned together. In short, planning is deciding in advance what to do and how to do. Planning involves decision making because it involves selection of a course of action from among the alternatives. The manager constantly seeks to make correct decisions involving the use of the various types of resources at his disposal to attain the various objectives. A manager decides on the utilization of equipments, materials, and skill to achieve such goals as quality, low cost, quick delivery, safety, and so on. Sometimes decision making is treated as a separate function of management. But making decisions is not just an element of a manager's job, but it is the job of a manager. Once managers have established objectives and developed plans and programs to reach them, they must design and develop an organization to carry out these programs successfully. Organizing or organization is an intentionally designed structure of roles and positions. The elements included in organizing function are grouping of activities logically into functions or position. To function effectively, a manager must delegate some of his responsibilities. He must decide what responsibility and what authority to delegate to which positions. He must establish relationship between his subordinates that will provide each with the information he needs to do his job. He must scrutinize the relationships between his unit and other units and their effect on its operation. Organizing is a never-ending process. All types of organizations are in a continual state of being reorganized. When goals and programs are redirected, activities also change. Coordination is the process of integration of the activities of separate departments of an organization to accomplish organizational goals. Coordination is needed both up and down the organization structure and laterally as well. Coordination or coordinating can be regarded as a part of organizing function, as organizing involves a great deal of coordinating effort. Some authors treat coordinating as a separate function of management. Staffing involves filling and keeping filled the positions in the organization structure. The staffing function ensures that adequate workforce, in terms of quantity and quality, is always available with the organization to carry out the organizational activities. Leading is the process of influencing and motivating people so that they contribute toward the attainment of organizational objectives. It has to do predominantly with the interpersonal aspect of managing. Motivation is a human psychological characteristic. Motivation is not easy to achieve, and what a manager can try to do is to create a working climate in which all members may contribute to the limits of their ability. The process of controlling is essentially one of measuring actual performance and comparing it with pre-established standards. Through the controlling function, the manager can keep the organization on the right track before it deviates too far from its goals. Organizations operate in a dynamic environment and are influenced by a number of factors. These factors can be external factors and internal factors. Business environment is the sum or collection of all internal and external factors that affect the functioning or operation of the company or organization. The internal factors that affect a business are such factors as employees, equipment, technology, leadership style, culture of the organization, etc. The internal factors or the internal environment is largely controllable and the organization can manipulate it to its advantage. On the other hand, the external environment mainly consists of the factors that are beyond the control of an organization, such as the PESTEL factors. PESTEL is an acronym for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. Political factors include policy of the government, the political stability of the country, political ideologies of the government, taxation policies, regulatory practices, etc. Economic factors include economic growth, interest rates, exchange rates, inflation rate, employment levels, and so on. Social factors includes demographics of the market, consumer buying patterns, religious and cultural factors, health consciousness, population growth rate, age distribution, career attitudes, etc. Technological factors includes new discoveries and innovations, automation, research and development activities, etc. Environmental factors include weather as well as climate and climate change, which mostly affect industries such as tourism, agriculture, and insurance. Also includes pollution and waste management. Legal factors includes issues related with consumer laws, labor laws, copyrights, health and safety laws, etc. With the opening up of economy all over the world, the domain of operation of the organizations also have expanded. This has made the operating environment more complex and more competitive. And in order to survive in a competitive environment, it is necessary that the organization should focus on 6 fundamental success drivers, namely quality, service, cost effectiveness, speed, innovation, and sustainability. Quality is the fitness for use, and for a company to survive in a competitive environment, it has to produce and supply products of high quality. Managers should ensure their customers are given high quality goods and services to satisfy them and exceed their expectations. Service refers to the speed and dependability with which an organization delivers what customers want. Speed refers to the fast and timely execution, response, and delivery of results. Cost effectiveness or cost competitiveness refers to keeping costs or expenses low to achieve profits and be able to offer prices that are attractive to the customers. Innovation is the introduction of new goods and services. Companies cannot survive in today's business environment without continuously being innovative. Sustainability refers to the effort to minimize the use of resources, especially those that are polluting and non-renewable. It is important to recognize that the above targets or objectives can be attained only through the use of appropriate or state-of-the-art technology. There are different challenges before a manager. This includes building a management team, supervising and motivating employees, allocating resources, continual improvement, adjusting or adapting to changing conditions, anticipating trends, and time management.